All right, we're back again. Survivor 43, episode 9. We missed episode 8 recap. We'll talk about episode 8 a little bit here, but hope you guys are enjoying the Survivor 43 season. I feel like it had a strong start and a strong cast, maybe not strong in the typical sense of a cast. This one was much more personable, relatable, down to earth. It feels like they plucked real people off the streets and put them in, which started well. But now that we've gotten into a more individual game, does it seem like it's maybe starting to lag a bit for you?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I do feel like the season is starting to slow down for me a bit and not, engage me as much.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know. I don't know what it's a combination of. I don't know if it's a combination of like just really sloppy gameplay and like unnecessary storylines. I don't know. I'm not. Ever since the merge, I've been not feeling it as much. I thought the pre-merge was great. I had really high hopes,
Yeah.
but unlike 41 and 42 at the merge, there's not even like one person that I'm like really, really rooting for to win this thing, you know?
Yeah, I really liked Jesse after the first couple episodes, but he's been almost non-existent lately. I mean, he's in a good spot, don't get me wrong, but kind of non-existent. Cody has been a little more on the screen, has a little more screen time, but even he is
Even,
like
yeah, even Cody's starting to not get as much screen time as he was pre-merge.
Gabler's kind of fallen off. It seems like it's really just been like James and Owen, I guess, which are like two of the most unlikely players to win coming into this episode. So it's like it seems like the players who aren't going to win are getting the most screen time. I think that's what's causing this to be a lackluster season. That and just crappy gameplay from all over the board.
Yeah, I think, man, it's probably worse than even Nicaragua. Like, it's just really bad. Like, I don't believe some of these people are actual Survivor fans, you know?
The thing this season I think is proving to be a bad idea that I'll admit originally I thought would be a cool idea is at this point having a back to basics season I think would not be back to basics as far as like what production wants players to do like as far as idols advantages I still think would be a cool idea, but the idea of let's do a season where it's all people who don't know how to play the game I think is uh not no longer do I think that would be fun fun to watch.
Honestly, I'm in desperate need of a returnees season. And
Yeah,
I think hopefully we'll get that. Maybe season 45 or something like that.
apparently
I don't
40,
know.
apparently 45. I know we talked about it I think before, but
Yeah.
usually when it's time for a new casting uh a casting not era but like when it's time for new casting, Survivor will put out now casting for 35 and 36 because they film seasons
Right.
back to back, obviously
Right, 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 right,
41,
right.
42, 43, 44. But they're only saying that they're casting for 40, um, for
44.
44. They're not casting for 45. So the rumor is 45 is a returnee season, which at this point, if you take away Winners at War, we have, and of course there was like the little bit of returnees for Edge of
Age
Extinction,
of
but
Extinction.
we really haven't had returnees since what Game Changers, which is what
Game Changers.
35.
Yeah. Which
So
people can hate on Game Changers, but I was way more engaged in Game Changers at this point than
especially
season
post merge,
43.
especially post
Yeah.
merge.
Yeah, you hate on Game Changers all you want. It was
Yeah.
all over the place, but it had me interested.
The only thing that I think that could save this season is if the finale is just power players. Like if the final five, the finale episode is like Cody,
Carla,
Jesse, Carla, I guess Sammy, and
Noel.
honestly, yeah, probably Noel, unless that's the final five, where it's literally like, because when's the last time a finale episode has happened when it's like any of these people could win?
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had that because usually there's always a goat, and it's looking like it's gonna be Gabler this season. That's gonna be the goat that's taken to the end.
Yeah,
But
honestly, Owen's kind of showing goat vibes.
Owen is showing goat vibes too. I don't, Owen.
Surprising.
I'm sure Owen's a great guy. I'm sure he's an amazing guy, but he's not popping on screen right now, dude. I'm not getting the love. Like he's in a bad position right now. I would not desire to be in Owen's position at the moment.
Yeah. Well, before we dive into our fantasy teams and talk about the episodes, just want to say, everyone, thanks for watching. We love recapping Survivor here. It's not just me and Gideon here, but we usually do day after recaps. Were you having a Paramount Plus issue, by the way?
No, but I didn't watch Paramount Plus yesterday, and that's when you were trying to do it. I watched it live. I actually was able to watch the episode live for the first freaking time in my life. I was able to watch it live.
I tried for literally 7 hours straight. I mean, I literally wasn't on my TV for 7 hours straight, but I would check every 30 minutes and it just wouldn't load. So I just watched this morning.
That happens though. That happened to me and you at one point. I don't know if it was 2 seasons ago or a season ago, but I know that has happened to us before where we're like, we literally could not watch the episode because we're relying on Paramount Plus.
Yeah. But we usually do day after recaps, and after the season, we'll hopefully have player interviews. At least
we will. I'm putting it out into the world. We will be able to interview people.
Manifest. At least half the cast has already said they would be down. But we also do a show here called Survivor Hot Takes, hosted by Drew and Emily. That's been happening usually day of or day before the episodes. We also do Survivor Top 10s, Top 20s, Best ofs, weekly clip of the week. Whole bunch of stuff here on the Survivor Buffs channel. It's not just this one podcast, so please subscribe so you don't miss any of that, because we have some exciting stuff coming up, as well as join our Discord where you can talk about Survivor with Survivor fans. Link to our Twitter. All of that is in the description. So that being said, let's bring up the fantasy teams. I had said 2 weeks ago that the only way I could catch up is if you had 4 eliminations in a row, and you had Ellie, and then you had Dwight, and then you had Janine. So I was like, oh shoot, do we have a comeback? We do not have a comeback because I lost Ryan and I lost James, which means there is only one way. I did the math before the episode. For people listening audio only, my score right now is 44. Gideon's score is 73. You want to end up with the most points. You lose points as players get eliminated based on what place they come in. If you didn't know our point system, we both started with 126. The only way that I can win is if the final 3 is Jesse, Carla, and Owen. Which
that has to be a final 3.
That has to. It doesn't matter what place they
come
in.
It could be.
It could be. And even then, you would have 43 points. I would literally beat you by 8 points. That would be pretty epic. So, as long as the final 3 is Owen, Carla, and Jesse, I win.
You have the 3 people that the general public is like behind and wants to win, I feel like. But I feel like the general public and Survivor Twitter are idiots. So I think they're wrong about some of their assumptions.
Facts. So 1 or 2 quick things I wanted to touch on from episode 8, because I know we missed it. I called it. I knew that Dwight had given away his idol, or given away Janine's idol that he had before Tribal. Do you like this whole thing with Survivor, like showing moments not only later on, but like entire episodes later? What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I don't mind it. It makes it hard for the contestants in exit interviews after, because then they have to lie, like Dwight did.
Yeah,
but I don't mind that aspect of Survivor. I don't mind if they keep that going in later seasons.
We also got Owen's backstory last episode, which is probably my, I hate to say favorite backstory, because but it's the one that I felt like I was the most engaged with. It felt like I almost forgot I was watching Survivor for a second. So Sammy tried to make a move last episode, maybe a little bit too early. We'll see. I think his stock fell a lot this episode, episode 9, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Until Noel's advantage, that was the first idol or advantage played all season.
Yeah, I know. That was the first time we had an advantage played, and yeah, it was a good freaking move. I gotta say, Noel's stock is really going up. I really think Noel is a contender to win this thing, and I do too. I would be a-okay with that because I feel like she's a real scrappy player. You know, like she's like, you know, forcing her way into the top position, and I think she's doing a really good job of that.
Yeah. Do you think you remember who you would give your player of the week last week to?
Last week's MVP, when Janine went home, who would I have given that to? I think I wanted to give it to. Oh shoot! Who are you gonna give it to? Hold on.
I mean, by process of elimination, I can't give it to Ryan because he got the just in case she has an idol votes. Not going to give it to Gabler. Not going to give it to Noel from last week or Sammy or Owen. Obviously, really the only people I could potentially.
Because nobody really stuck out to me last episode, but
yeah, and who won?
Oh yeah, I was gonna give it to Owen. Yeah, last episode I was gonna give it to Owen. Yeah.
Well, remember, Owen thought Ryan was going home.
Yeah. But he was gonna go home, and then he won immunity. So I was like, okay, I think that's enough.
Yeah, I probably agree with Jay here. I feel like I give it to Carla every week, but
yeah. The thing about Owen is Owen didn't need to be in the right side of the numbers because he wasn't going home anyways. So honestly, weird strategy, 2 episodes ago for Owen to take, but Owen could have just chilled and just not been on the right side of the numbers and let Janine go home. I don't know, because, if you're asking what's going on and nobody's being responsive to you, I feel like it's better to just not cause havoc than do what Owen did in the next episode. Is wrestle a bunch of feathers.
Actually, who I might give it to last episode is I might give it to Jesse, because I forgot that he now not only acquired Janine's idol, but voted her out, kept her idol, and nobody knows about it. It's the only idol that nobody knows about right now. And apparently he still has Cody's. Cody never asked for it back. I guess Cody just assumes that
he'll give it to him if he wants, which is true, I think. Yeah. Which is why next episode it's going to be real interesting, because it's looking like Cody and Jesse might be targets.
Yeah.
Might be targets. And, you're getting pretty late in the game. Those two, man, they need to have a serious talk and be like, okay, we need to make it to the next vote. We're both in trouble. Let's just do a double idol play,
Because they were able to get Gabler on their side, but clearly in the next episode for preview,
he's gonna flop in typical Gabler fashion. Yeah,
which makes me think, like, as I'll pull the team back up, the players. It's weird because you think that Jesse and Cody are at the top, because they are they are interlocked. They've been right on like every vote. They have 2 idols between them, but it's really just those 2. Like, they really don't have anybody. Noelle is from their original tribe, but she clearly is not with them, at least I think.
Noelle is a free agent, man. Like, she's not closely aligned with anyone per se.
Well, Sammy and Owen, but maybe that was just for circumstantial.
The edit was showing that she was kind of like, maybe not to Carla, and then Yeah. But I'm just saying, in her conversations with people, I don't think that I'll just say, I don't think Noelle is as tight with Sami and Owen as Jesse and Cody are to each other. Jesse and Cody, I could not see them voting for each other until Final Four.
Yeah, I really do think they're tight. I was going to ask, coming into this episode, who do you think was the tight coming into this episode?
Still Jesse and Cody. I still think obviously Carla turned on James.
Well,
and
I said coming into the episode. That's why I wanted to clarify.
I know, but still, I still thought it was Cody and Jesse. And
Yeah,
Carla and James sure were close, but I feel like Jesse and Cody don't have a relationship where they think they're using the other as a shield, and I think that that's the kind of relationship that James and Carla had. Like, I think people. Well, obviously that did happen, but people wanted James out before Carla, so James was a shield to Carla, and Carla could have saved James this episode with an idol, and she didn't.
I think Jesse and Cody might be the tightest two that we've seen maybe since JT and Fishback.
They are pretty dang close, which is funny because at the beginning of the season, we were trying to be sold that Dwight and Jesse were the close ones.
Maybe Malcolm and Denise in Philippines.
Yeah, those two are pretty freaking close.
Because people are close, but like you said, some people are close, but know that sometimes one thinks the other's a shield. Like, for example, Jeremy with Wentworth, I think maybe, but or thinks the other is a goat. They're tagging them all, like Jeremy with freaking Tasha and Spencer. Or you could look at people being tight too. I mean, here's the thing. I know you said Evie and Tiffany.
I don't even remember those two being close.
Yeah, they left. So were they both jury? I know Evie was.
They were both jury. Yeah, Tiffany got voted out on the double boot episode.
Yeah, I'm saying who's a tight final two that could likely make it to the end together. I mean, I guess. Well, I mean, Sarah and Tony kind of had a spat, and no one from 41 and 42. No one from Edge. I mean, Christian and yeah, well, here's the thing. Erica and Heather were close, Jay,
but it's that thing that Erica knew that Heather would lose.
Yeah, Erica, I think they were only tight because look,
if I'm Jesse, like, Cody could win at the end. He's just so dang likable.
Well, and if I'm Cody, I think Jesse could win at the end.
Yeah, they both could legitimately take it home. Jesse obviously playing the better social game.
Yeah.
And Cody obviously playing the more physical game. But
yeah, and I think that's what we're saying is when's the last time there's been a tight two where they both have a great chance of winning if they get to the end and yet are still remaining locked. Heather and Erica were not that. Erica realized
we'll see.
No way Heather was going to win.
We'll see. We'll see if they choose, one another to build fire at the end.
Even blood versus
like
water with Tyson with the coconut. What are they called?
I guess you could say maybe Jonathan and Mike. Were two contenders, maybe. But Jonathan thought he was a contender, so.
I don't think Mike thought Jonathan was, but. Yeah, so I think Cody and Jesse are a great dynamic too, the likes we really haven't seen since Coconut Bandits. That's what they were called. I think Tyson realized there's no way Jervis is going to win this game. That's what I'm saying. Jesse has to think Cody could win. Cody has to think Jesse could win. I really think they respect each other enough that they're like, we can take each other to the end and either of us could win. I really don't see them turning on each other. I'd be shocked.
I give the edge to Jesse at the moment, but it's pretty early in the game.
Well, yeah. I mean, the fact that he has an idol. I mean, Cody's definitely the better immunity winner, as we've seen.
It's just one of those. It's one of those things that at the end, Survivor players always talk about is that you've been making the same moves, voting together this whole time.
Yeah.
And And the only move that separates Jesse from Cody is having Dwight's trust enough for Dwight to give him an idol and then voting him out, which is a big move.
And then Janine.
But that's
Janina.
and then voting out. But that's the only thing that's separating them.
But that's a big thing.
It is a big thing.
But it's only one thing.
But Cody and Jesse have not voted together one time, which is like, that's what everybody makes the case of to, the big power players at the end of Survivor, which is like, you need to vote out your ally because your games are inseparable. You're going to just split the votes. So you just never know.
Right. Speaking, so like I said, Cody is a better immunity winner. He's come close a couple times. Finally won it this episode.
He's been second every time, and he finally won.
Finally won.
And now Ryan's gone, which is like, like Cody, is he about to take over?
Right. Carla also won, and not only did she won in a like a physical balance-esque challenge, not like a puzzle or anything like that. So props to Carla, adding even more to her.
I was
resume.
surprised the women dropped on that challenge so early because usually balance challenges are they favor the women, but.
So they split up after the immunity challenge. At first, I was like, come on, this is an individual game. Do we really have to divert back to tribes? But I think this split was like perfect. Like it was.
Some people were saying Sammy threw it for Carla to win it. I don't know if I believe that.
I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Sammy wanted to hit the gritty after he won again, so I
Did
don't
he?
know. No. But he probably would have hit the gritty if he won.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I have something stuck in my throat.
Still getting over COVID, guys. It's okay.
Still getting over COVID, yeah. So just so much bad gameplay, in my opinion, after the it was just like one thing after another.
Yeah. It was bad.
Okay,
It
so
was really bad.
First, you have James confronting Owen and trying to patch things.
Which is bad. And then Owen reciprocating, bad.
Owen reciprocating, bad. Made for good TV, bad. Ryan
Yelling
saying,
in front of your entire tribe, bad.
Ryan saying, hey, let's make everyone think I'm going home and tell them to vote for me. Why would you put votes on yourself even if you thought you were safe?
And Gabler saying, yeah, same for me. You tell her to vote for me, yeah.
James playing like he's Carl on David versus Goliath, bad. Did anybody have a good episode? No,
Noelle.
I don't like Noelle's move.
Why?
Because
it was a smokescreen for the knowledge is power, and it worked.
I don't think he would have played the knowledge is power.
Yeah, I feel like these contestants are just like weenies when it comes to pulling out their advantages, freaking playing them. Just play them. Even if you feel, man, if I was on Survivor and I felt 20% uneasy, I would yank out every freaking advantage I had.
You look dumber going home with an advantage than you do playing it at the wrong time.
Yes, play your advantages. Golly, Gio, going home with a freaking knowledge is power. James, going home with the knowledge is power. The knowledge is power might be cursed. Like, you pull it out if you feel uneasy. James knew that Noelle had to steal a vote.
Yeah, and then
he knew that.
I don't understand why Carla, who I've been diehard Carla since episode 1. Why didn't Carla save James? I don't understand why she wouldn't save him because
if I'm Carla, I'd just be like, if they're coming after me, I have an idol nobody knows about. I'll play it, and then I just
she
shake
could
up
have
the
given
game.
her immunity idol to James. I don't. If she would have done that, I don't think they would have switched their votes. Because Sammy,
yeah, but then you burn everybody, and
not
then it's
Sammy,
like,
not Sammy. Only burn Owen and
Noelle.
Noelle, who Noelle would now be without a steal a vote.
Yeah, but if Carla gives the immunity necklace, then Noelle uses her steal a vote. Noelle might switch her steal a vote and been like, okay, I'm stealing Carla's vote.
Well, she could have given her immunity after the steal a vote.
No, I don't think that's how the order works.
I think until the first person goes up to give their vote, you can give your immunity idol away.
Your necklace.
Yeah, your necklace away.
No, I don't think that's the case because Noelle interrupted Jeff as he was going, "It's time to vote." Like, I think that's what the paper says. Like, you say it as he's saying, "It's time to vote."
Well, then she could have given him as her idol, her hidden idol, or she could have just told Sammy.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Look, Carla has invested so much in her social position in this game to the fact that even though she did take a hit this episode, like her alliance did take a hit, that people felt bad and that they wanted to work with her so much that Sammy wanted to tell her that, hey, by the way, we're going after James, even though that's a terrible move for Sammy.
Terrible move.
But he wants to work with Carla
move.
because
That's the worst move of the episode, by the way.
Absolutely. LVP goes to Sammy.
Yeah.
But she's invested so much in social stock that it works for her. And so, you got to be thinking when that happens and Sammy comes up to you and says, hey, we're going to go for James, that she's like, okay, this makes no sense for you to tell me, so I think you might still want to work with me the next day, And if Carla feels uneasy, she has a little thing in her pocket she can pull out, and she's safe, and all of a sudden she's in the final 7.
Here's the other reason why I think Noelle's move was bad, though, is because the reason why she did that, I mean, here's the thing. The move was a cool idea, something that's never been done before. But the person that she was targeting with the move was a terrible idea, unless she saw something on the island. But it seems like everybody thinks, including Carla, James's number one ally, thinks James is full of himself.
That James thinks he's calling the shots.
Thinks he's calling the shots. So why? Right. It's Noelle's move is the type of move that you want to cut the head off the snake. James is not the head of any snake.
Yeah, if you want to make that move, make it on Carla. But the thing is, people haven't said in confessionals or in the game yet. We're all saying it as fans, but have the contestants ever said Carla's calling all the shots?
Or do it against Cody or Jesse? Like there's at least 3 people she should have done that move to, not James. Because it's like, oh, I got James out. Everyone's like, oh, okay, cool.
It might for Noelle, it might have just been like, I need to start making moves. I need to do it now. I need to do it now in the small tribe format where people are more exposed, because that move might be a little bit harder to pull off at 8.
But like I was saying, the other thing is Sammy went and confronted Carla about this move, and Carla still voted for James. Now, Sammy said, you tell me what to do. I'll do whatever you want to do. But just know that there's 2 against James right now. James is against Owen. We can decide it. So clearly Carla said, okay, let's do James. So Carla could have saved James, didn't even have to use an idol. She could have just saved James by and I guess you could say, okay, by aligning with Sammy, she essentially, because she still has Cassidy as one of her minions. You could say that
Cassidy is a minion.
You could essentially also say that, okay, she voted out James, but Sammy has essentially replaced James as Carla's other minion. So I guess Carla thought, who would I rather have as a minion, Sammy or James? James is hated. Sammy is not hated. So maybe Carla did make the right decision.
I don't know, man.
I don't know either. I'm saying it could be. The next episode we'll really find out.
I think every single person on that beach in some capacity wants to work with Carla. Still.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think she's the only person that is that way.
Yes, absolutely. Carla, she's approachable, and people view her as easy to work with, and that's her move.
Do you think is there any chance we don't have a GOAT this season?
In the final three, because we
Yeah.
have a few goats right now. But
In the
are
final
you
three,
saying?
yeah.
I think there'll be a goat in the final three.
Okay.
I don't think three solid players are gonna make it to the final three. I wish that would happen. I want to see it because we haven't seen it ever. Maybe.
Yeah, Owen in this is
Because Owen is a no vote finalist. Gabler is a no vote finalist. Cassidy, sorry girls, no vote finalist. If we get a Jesse, Cody, Noelle final three, or a Jesse, Carla, Cody, or if any of those four, I think in the final three, sure. But it's looking like either Jesse or Cody's going home.
Jesse, Carla, Noelle would be a crazy final three.
Yeah, Jesse, Cody, Carla, that would be one of the most strongest final threes in ever.
Yeah, any combination of Jesse, Carla, Cody, and Noelle, if any three of those make it together, like that would be insane. It's funny that Owen is like a GOAT because it's like,
why is it funny?
He seems like he's a good player, but because he was the preseason favorite.
What has he done to make you think he's a good player?
Well, okay, he hasn't made any bad moves. He just hasn't made any moves. Has Owen made any bad moves? I'm forgetting.
I don't know if he's made any bad moves, but he's never been in a good position. Yeah. So that in itself is a bad move.
Well, it seems like he understands the game very
well.
Most
important. If you understand the game, then maybe you would understand the most important part of the game is the social game, and you're doing terrible at that.
Right.
So,
I don't know. I just he was the priest.
I don't get the preseason much. Okay, look, the problem is that you and I are in the social media survivor space, and we're in an echo chamber where everybody's like, oh my gosh, we love Owen. Oh my gosh, we love Cassidy. When those are two of probably the worst players on the island right now. Because the only reason they like them is, I don't even know. They haven't done anything. If social media wasn't a thing and it was just you and I watching with no social influence, we would be like, these people suck at the game. They are terrible.
When was the last time the preseason favorite won a season?
Ricard lost. 42 didn't really have a preseason favorite.
Chanel probably.
Yeah, Chanel lost. Yeah,
Tony was definitely not the preseason favorite.
Tony was not everybody was writing Tony off. Yeah, it's like
everyone thought Yule or Kim
Michelle, or maybe Michelle was the 40 preseason favorite as well. I don't know, but
yeah,
Ricard was close.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so much bad gameplay this season. It's like
I'm not really. It's just all this. It's kind of a toxic season. I'm just not enjoying it at the moment. I'm not. Even the title of this episode, bro. What about the big girls? Carla, Gabler is not on your team. He's gonna say, "Let's go, boys," because he's not on your team. Gabler wants to eat peanut butter and jelly. What do you mean? What about the big girls? He wants you to drop. Yeah. It's not about big girls.
Right.
It's about peanut butter and jelly.
It's always about peanut butter and jelly.
It pisses me off. Oh my gosh. I can't. Don't get me started.
I will applaud ourselves. I feel like normally our first for 41 and 42, those red X's on the fantasy teams were all over the place. Whereas I feel like we did a really good job.
Oh yeah. We're still doing a good job because Cassidy and Gabler's stock is in the toilet. So it's like,
Yeah.
They could be going home if they just want to cut the fat off of the tribe. I don't know.
Because Erica and Marianne were both picked in the second half of the fantasy draft. Yeah. The winner of this season will be someone.
Yes, the winner of this tribe, except for my bad with what's her name? I forgot her name. Or Ellie. Yeah. Except for her, I think we've done a great job picking the winners.
Yeah.
We're getting
like I
better
s-
at this whole Survivor podcast thing, I think.
Who do you think from this season would you like to see return? Because to me, it's really.
Gosh, none of them. Okay. Probably Cody and Noel is the only people I would even want to see again.
I wouldn't mind that you just yelled at her, but I would like to see Carla again, unless she flames out. I think she's having a really good. She had a strong pre-merge, and then her and Jesse kind of took like a back seat when it came to post-merge, where they're kind of like running the show, but like are in a power position, but not in like an obvious way, like Ellie was or like Shan was, and then they flame out. So unless Carla or Jesse flames out, I wouldn't mind seeing either of them back. More so Carla than Jesse, but.
Yeah, I would say I would rather see Carlo over Jesse. I'm not necessarily itching to see either of them come back, really.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like I've already seen enough. Like I feel like okay, if Carla comes back, I already know what kind of game she's gonna play again. Sit back, let people come to you because you're approachable. Like that's the game you're gonna play. With Jesse, I feel like it's just gonna be the same thing. Sit back, silently make moves, whatever. I feel like we could get different versions of Noel and Cody, and that's what you want if you have a returning season. You don't want to see the same game played over and over again.
Yeah, I agree. But like, one thing I wanted to mention before we forget is the first time in the entire season that the shot in the dark has even been mentioned, let alone played, was this episode. I was almost starting to think like, is that still a thing?
Yeah, I still forget shot in the dark is a part of the game, but it encourages blind sides, I guess. But yeah.
First season in Survivor history where the viewership is averaging under 5 million an episode in the US.
Ooh.
First time in the history of the show to compare.
Look, man, it's all about learning a lesson, right? Like it's all about like Survivor at their board meetings, they need to be like, okay, what are we doing wrong? Why are people no longer watching? What kind of people are we casting? What kind of stories are we trying to portray? Why does it suck?
To put in comparison, Marquesas, still considered one of the worst season by casual fans, 21 million viewers per episode.
Jeez. Survivor used to be on top, bro. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Marquesas is terrible. Just want to, for Drew, I know he's watching.
Underrated.
Put that out there.
Will always be the most underrated season. Yeah,
They really do need a returning season in 45.
Well, that's what I was looking back at was Game Changers. So what? Worlds Apart 30, 31, 32, 33. Okay. So since season 35, we have Heroes, Healers, and Hustlers, Ghost Island, David and Goliath, Edge of Extinction, Island of the Idols, 41, 42, 43. So we have 8 seasons minus the winner, because obviously we got Nick returning, Wendell returning, Ben returning, and yeah, all returning. So minus those 4 people, we have 8 seasons worth of players to. So what's 8 times 20?
8 times 20?
160, right? So in theory,
Yeah.
we have roughly minus the 4 returnees from Edge of Extinction. So we have, if I did my math correctly,
3 returnees.
100.
Wait,
No,
no,
4.
yeah, 4. Sorry.
Joe,
I forgot.
David, Kelly,
I forget the time where we had 2 tribes instead of 3, which is what everybody wants.
Yeah.
But
So if my math is correct, we have 156 players since Game Changers that have never played more than once. You can make a damn good season out of 156 cast of players.
mean, do you have people on social media who have been blowing up and would bring viewership that have come from Survivor? Like bring back Mike White, who's getting up in the world in the film industry and is famous and just won, Emmy and stuff.
I don't think he would.
Bring Lauren Ashley Beck, who is willing to come back and has built a fan base. who have built a fan base of 500,000 people on TikTok who watch Survivor. She's the biggest Survivor TikToker and the only one, you know. It's like bring back people like that who were good on the show and who have been, you know, keeping up on social media, stuff like that. You know, I don't know. I'm scared, dude. I feel like I don't know if Survivor will make it to 50.
It'll make it to 50, but there is
It
a
might
world
end
where
after 50.
There is a world where 50 is the last. In which case, they have to go out with a bang, and not even in the sense of let's try to save it, but they have to go out with 50. Now, I want to say the other reason, and this is not a complaint, this is not me complaining, but the other reason that could be halting a returnee season, because we don't know for sure that 45 is going to be returnee. We're just predicting.
We're just speculating. We don't actually know anything.
The other thing that could be holding Survivor back from doing returnee season is the freaking, what do you call it? The where the minorities have to be 50%. What's the word? What's the word for that?
The Survivor Diversity Campaign.
Diversity campaign. Which again, I'm not complaining about the diversity campaign. I'm just saying that has to apply to returnee seasons too. So, you know, you're limited in the field. You know, when you're casting a season, you have all of America to choose from. When you're casting a returnee season, you only have who's on the screen. And if you don't have enough, you know, minority players to make a good season, then you have to keep waiting.
Yep. Just another thing the Survivor Diversity Campaign is ruining. It's great.
So we could see a returnee season with 45, or it could just be all newbie seasons until
we never want to see it again.
until 50.
Until I'm sick and tired of freaking seasons.
So I think I'm trying to look at my notes, see if there was anything else I wanted to. I mean, if you were Sammy, would you have to kind of dive back in the episode? Would you want to, would you have gone to Carla and told her about the Noel's plan?
No.
Why not?
Because I would have just blindsided Noel and worried about it later. Because then there's a chance that your plan doesn't work. You know, if you want James out, don't tell his closest ally.
But then he would definitely never get a chance to work with Carla.
I don't care. I would try to vote her out next.
So
that's the thing. Sammy doesn't want to vote her out next, so it's like tough. But if I was Sammy, I'd want to vote her out next.
Yeah. I also wouldn't have done it. I don't know. It's tough. I feel like it depends on the next episode. I feel like it's going to depend on the next episode. We need to see the fallout of it first. But if I was in the moment, I think I would probably agree with you. But that's because to us, Carla's I forgot to take the fantasy off. To us, Carla is the biggest player in the game right now, or at least one of, if you don't think the biggest. But yeah, don't know if it was a smart move. But then I guess the other question is, do you think it was smart? I know we talked about Carla's options and she could have saved James, but do you think she made the right choice and not saving James?
Okay. I do. I am not a big fan of using your advantages for other people. I feel like there's like not a lot of situations in which you should do that. And I don't think this was one of them. It's all about getting yourself to the next vote. And, Carla has good enough social awareness to where she can feel out what people are feeling next vote. And I still feel like Carla knows that people is going to want to work with her the next day. And if that doesn't happen, then you have a buffer and an idol, and then people will probably want to work with you at 7.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, and then obviously with the other one, with the other votes, because I almost forgot we had two. Ryan goes home. I do think that was the right move. He was a challenge threat, and he obviously wasn't a favorite to win, but he could be one of those guys that has such a great story and so lovable that by the end of the season, I'm not saying he would win, but he could be a guy that steals a vote or two. Could be. You also don't want to put. He also could be the type of guy who wins fire making, and you don't want an unpredictable guy like Romeo last season winning, um, to potentially screw up your game. So
I don't see Carla getting taken out at 8. I don't see that happening.
yeah, because the thing with Shan,
I could
and
see
Hai,
Jesse or Cody getting taken out at 8.
well, because the thing with Shan or Hai is those were obviously big players. Carla is kind of low key a big player. I think the fans,
Which is what you want. Which is exactly the position you want to be in. You want to be calling the shots and directing the votes, but you want to be doing it, undercover.
now obviously, um, there's 5 players. There's 8 players left. There's 4 who could win, 4 who definitely won't win, which I think is not a bad thing. If you're at your final 8 and you have 4 that could win, 4 that couldn't, obviously in a perfect world you would love to have, um, at least 6 players who could win. Like last season, I feel like our final 8, you had Omer, you had Mike, you had Jonathan, you had Lindsay. Obviously, Marianne ended up winning. That was a great final 8 last season. This final 8 just feels like, oh, there we go. Nope. Feels like it's not the case, but all right. Who do you want to give a Player of the Week award to? It's tough because
Tough.
for process of elimination, can't give it to Sammy. Can't give it to Carla, even though she was at the right side of the number. She lost her ally and wasn't behind the vote, wasn't behind the move. Owen was on the right side of the numbers finally, even though it wasn't his plan. Cassidy, no. Gabler, no. Cody and Jesse, I mean, they kind of dictated the vote, but I guess it would probably have to be Noelle or.
Yeah, I was about to say, for me, it goes to Noelle. For me, MVP goes to Noelle. She is playing an advantage in a way that's never been played before, which counts in my book.
Yeah.
And what she wanted to happen did happen. We'll just have to see how it plays out.
Yeah. Yeah, even though I don't like the move, I guess I'll. I don't know. It's so tough. If there was ever a week, I know we always said we would have a definitive Player of the Week, and we would give a tie. We wouldn't do ties. If there was ever a week for me to give a tie, it probably would be this week in between Noelle and Cody, because Cody did win Idol. We did win immunity. But if you have a gun to my head, I'd probably say Noelle if I had to pick one.
Okay. So we disagreed last week,
Yeah.
but we're together this week.
Yeah, except I think you liked the move a little better than I do.
I do. I like the move a bit better. Just because I like seeing innovative ways on playing advantages that we haven't seen before. It's the first time when I was watching this season that I was like, okay, finally some good freaking gameplay,
Yeah.
Like finally something different. Finally, a move not just being, I'm going to let them come to me. Like,
and even if she didn't think that Carla was the power player, it still does hurt Carla that her number 1 ally is gone.
True. Carla's stock has fallen, but I think she could take the hit. I think Carla can take the hit.
And now only one person knows of Carla's idol, and that's Cassidy, who in theory should still be her number 1, even though if Sammy might think he's her number 1.
Man, if I was Carla, I'm dragging Cassidy to the end because she's done nothing.
Yeah, I think Carla's perfect final 3 is probably Cassidy and Sammy.
Yeah, Carla goes unanimous there, I think.
Yeah, or even Cassidy and Owen.
Yeah. Once again, it's just like Cassidy and Owen haven't done anything, so it's like either way, it's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll give my player of the week to Noelle. If I had to put my money on someone winning this season, I'm still picking Carla. I do think that losing James hurt her, but I don't think it hurt her enough to make her not my favorite to win. So Carla's still my favorite to win. Do you have a favorite?
My favorite to win is probably Carla at this point. You know, who do I want to win? That's a different story, but my favorite to win at the moment is Carla, yeah.
Who do you want to win?
Who do I want to win? I want somebody like Cody or Noelle to win. I want some fresh winners. You know, Marianne felt pretty fresh when she won, and I liked that feeling, and I want that feeling again, you know? And I feel like I won't get that feeling with Carla. I don't think I'll get that feeling with Jesse either, bro. Like, I want somebody fresh, not necessarily like I just want a young person to win. That's not what I'm saying. I just want somebody that's like that feels like a new era winner, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our recap. We'll be back next week. Next week's Thanksgiving, so I'm not sure if we're gonna do it on.
I'll be here.
Oh, I'll be in New York too. I'm not going.
I'll be in New York. My mom's coming to me. So.
Well, if my brother's coming to me, it's gonna be my brother here. So if you're down to do Thanksgiving, I'm down. We might not get any live viewers, but
that's okay.
Yeah, I'm actually. Are you going to the parade, the Macy's Thanksgiving parade?
I don't think so. Does it go through Central Park? I mean, I might catch it.
It doesn't go through Central Park, but
it turns at Columbus Circle. Or?
Yeah. It doesn't go past that street, and that's the area me and my brother are going to be at, right by.
I feel like that's where everybody wants to be.
Yeah, you think that, but everybody else thinks that, so they don't go there. I mean, it is the busiest part, but it's not like, and it's only like, I mean, it's 3 hours, but you can go for an hour then dip.
I don't think so. I've never been a big, like, I'm never going to go see the ball drop, even though I'm like 20 minutes from Times Square. Like, I'm not going to do any of that.
All right, well, if you change your mind, and I think we're just going to walk around Central Park. Are we still live? I think we're going to walk around Central Park after, because my first time my brother's here, so, and then maybe go see the tree at Rockefeller. So anyway, if any of you guys watching are in New York, look out for me for sure, and potentially Gideon.
Yeah. I'm in Manhattan, so maybe.
You're like 2 stops away. Like, I'm an hour away and I'm going. You're 2 stops. Just go and come back. What else are you gonna do on a Thursday morning from 9 to noon?
Eat freaking turkey. That's what I'm gonna
do. Before noon?
Maybe.
You're out of your mind. All right, go Carla. That's all I'm gonna say.
Let's go, Gabler. You can still pull this off, my brother.